Hey, Ken. Trish, Chuck. All right, we're filing in. I like it. Good evening, one and all. And Larry, hello, man. How you doing? Had emails today. Had a couple of phone calls. Even though I had to make quite a trip today. Hey, Mark. Hiya. Whew. I had to run up to O'Hare in Chicago and pick up a friend and bring him back to Bloomington. So I did that. It's a nice little 9 hour day running up there and back, but you do these things for your friends. Hey, William, good evening. So I came back here and grabbed some dinner, and I was just relaxing, thinking about some of the emails we had. Chuck ran some series of uh, of baccarat off of what we did last night. Hey, Richard, and Dave Lindsay's out in Vegas right now, and I had a phone call with him. He picked up some money on single zero roulette, and he's kind of a professional player, and he's staying out there for a while. They've comped him rooms for a long time, and he's even looking for maybe to stay a little longer, get a little place and stay. Hey, Joseph. But I always like hearing those stories from the actual play out there in Vegas, and I'm itching to get there myself. King Allen, good evening. We're going to keep going tonight. We're going to use some other different units, and I'm going to track it a little more closely and not move quite so quickly as I'm holding the phone to video the iPad and got the ink pen in my hand. I got a lot of moving parts right here. Hey, Gordon, good evening. I'll start with a little bit of a story. I mean, if I have mentioned this stuff before, forgive me. Ted, how you doing, buddy? So occasionally I will sift around for a kind of obscure song to see if I like it or not, because of course, I play guitar and sing and write stuff too. Um, it's a great way of expressing yourself and to yourself. It doesn't have to be for anybody else. And oh my gosh, well, lots of balls in the air. That's right, William. Yeah, I do need that. Thanks, Gordon. Um, but a little bit of background, and like I'm saying, if I've mentioned this before, um, forgive me. Um, I grew up in a house with a mother and father that were provided well and were disciplinarians and old school type people, both born in 1924. Gives you a frame of reference for them. And I was second born, first daughter born, oldest born immediately when dad returned from World War II. And she was born in 1946. I was born 6 years later in 1952. It's kind of a magic number, 6 years. It keeps you separated from that person um, as you're going into the first grade, as they're going to the seventh. You're going to high school when they're going to college. But my two sisters behind me were born bang bang right behind me, which made me kind of the oldest child and made my oldest sister kind of an only child. None of that really matters. What does matter is the song that I heard tonight and remembering it in my own family's history. I watched as my three sisters, it was strange to me as an adolescent noticing how they battled with mom all the time. They were always fighting with mom, the three girls, older sister, and even the younger ones. It was a struggle getting along with mom, whereas I had no problems. Mom and I were great. I was mom's favorite, everything, only son. And mom is the one that named me Ray, which is my middle name. My father's name is Harold, first name. And so I'm Harold Ray. And mom would sometimes refer to me Harold Ray, Harold Ray, Harold Ray. Um, but then I noticed that, oddly enough, I felt my dad was too hard on me, and I would rebel against him. And as I continued to get older, it became downright fights of hating him, all the things that he did and how he did them. But this was a generation where dads didn't hold on to their sons and tell them how proud they were of them and how much they loved them. Dads tried to teach the sons to be tough and know that they're going to have to do things in life. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't ever think at the time that my father worked on a farm from the time he was born to the time he was drafted into the Army in 1944 at 20 years old. That actually in the Army was the first place my father ever had a bathroom that was inside of a structure. All bathrooms were outside during his entire time of growing up. Yeah, boy named Sue. That'll make you tough. Hey, someone, welcome aboard. But it never occurred to me at the time that my father never had a telephone, that he never had an indoor bathroom, that everything was done outdoors up until the time that he left to go to boot camp. That's the first time he ever saw a bathroom inside. And then to add further to it, my father was actually 44 years old before he ever had air conditioning in a house, because we got air conditioning in our house for the very first time when I was 14 years old. And you want to be raised in Charleston, South Carolina with no air conditioning. Well, if you don't have it, you tend not to notice that you don't have it. But then when you do get it, wow. So anyway, back to my father. My father passed away quickly, died quickly after discovering cancer in him while I was at Desert Storm. And we had mended our ways and we had learned to coexist. And I had begun to learn to appreciate him, the man that he was and all he'd done. Thankfully, I'm thankful that I did that, because the military flew me back to Charleston in November 1990. It was actually Desert Shield at the time. It became Desert Storm in January of '91. But I came back and we buried my father, and I was with my mom, and my three sisters, of course, were standing away because it's me and my mom time. And mom said that one of the last things Dad said to her as he was struggling to breathe is he said, you know, Harold Ray's been in a lot of places, and now he's in a place that nobody knows what's going to happen next. And my deepest fear, he said to my mom, is your son's not coming home. So then tonight, I'm looking through music, and I happen to see a song called Father's Son. Stephen Wilson and Hardy. Guitars tuned in an awkward tuning positions, but that doesn't matter. The whole song is exactly about that. It's about a boy growing through the rebellion periods with his father to the point that he realizes he has become his father. And he's got a line in there, you want to change my name, you got to drain my blood. God damn, I am my father's son. And so if you have heard the song, you know the emotion I'm talking about. And if you haven't, particularly the men out there, but the ladies as well, it's a worthy thing to have a song written about living in the shadow of your father and trying to understand him from an era when those things were required. But anyway, Stephen Wilson and Hardy. So anyway, the King Harold thing came, I was Harold early on and Harold Ray, and I rebelled against the name Harold, even though I got the King Harold moniker because when I was 3 years old, I fell on a screwdriver that crashed through my left eye, and I was supposed to not see again, but after a year I did. And then my mom either my mom talking with my father or one or the other, they began to discuss the King Harold from the Battle of Hastings in the 11th century, who was killed by an arrow striking him in the left eye. And so then they began to do a little bit of the King Harold thing, and it kind of stuck all the way through high school, where I got nicknamed King and all that stuff. But anyway, father's son, Stephen Wilson and Hardy, you won't regret listening to it. If you've not heard it before, I'm going to tell you, tune it in, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about and how it all came. Now, I got Donald. Donald's got you thinking boy named Sue. I got a boy named Sue story about somebody else, by the way, because that was another situation that is in my history that's tucked away in my memory. But anyway, that's what we got, and we are going to do baccarat tonight with $200 bets, $50 units, plus 400 minus 3, which is 150, and we're looking for a $400 win. We're going to see, can we get that or not? We're going to see, can I do it without making any mistakes? I'm going to try to go very slowly so that you guys can go, hey, that's wrong. So thank you for paying attention. We will go with a no bet because I'm not going to look at that first one there, and I'm going to write down what happens here. So there is a banker win, and that is a no bet. That's what we got, banker no bet. Hey, Mike C. Mike Steinfeld, hey, Green Shark, Gordon Parker. The house is kind of a boutique sale in Bloomington because it's a high number, and so it has not sold. But I don't really care when it sells or how it sells. It's turned over to a realtor, and I'm trying to take care of all my business so I can get out of here. And my departure is not based on the house selling, though, Gordon. Okay, so we've got 2 bankers. We're hoping for a chop. If we don't, we're going to continue with the no bet. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We've got a player, no bet. So now we're going to play 4 units, $200 on the player. So that's where we are, $200 on the player. This would begin a D'Alembert should we lose. Let's see if we can all get this right together. Okay, so we did lose, and it became banker. So now we are going to bet banker plus 4 units. So that's $300 on the banker because we follow the winner here. This is excellent. We need this to happen. So we got a player win. Third bet is $400. Oh my goodness, I've already made a mistake. Okay, well, when you get mixed up into tango, you got a tango on. So this bet here is supposed to be plus 200. You guys didn't help me out there. It was supposed to go 200 to 400. So we will go to 500 here and try to correct this with a $500 bet on the player. And we get a push, rebet. And so we win the $500 bet with a player bet. And so we've won the $500. So the next bet that we're going to have is going to be down 3 units. So it's going to be a $350 bet. Is going to be the next bet. I'm trying to keep track as we go. But we go down from 500. We're going to go down to 350. We've got 1 player bet there. Thank you, Johnny OG. Okay, so we got a second player bet. So now we're looking for a banker to, we're valid, we're in. Now we're looking for a banker to put us in the bet. So there's a banker bet. So now we're going to go banker, $350. That's where we are, and let's see if we can get a win this time or not. Did not. So now I know we're going to go to player 550 because that's $200. This isn't as simple as it seems when I got so many moving parts around me. The 550 loss puts us on a banker bet of 750. Getting slaughtered. Okay, so we got a player bet of $950. This will be the third bet. We only go 4. This is the third one. And now we have the final bet as we continue this struggle. Banker 1150. This is what happens at the $200 units when you get killed like this. Okay, so we win the 1150. When we come back, we have a $1,000 bet down 3 units, and we have 1 banker here. So we got a no bet. Now we have 2 bankers. We need to have a player win to get us started. So we'll shuffle, we'll look for a player win since we already are validated with the 2 bankers. The banker came back with the win there. So now we actually have 3 bankers, although it was broken up by the shuffle. There's the player win. So we have a $1,000 bet, simple as that, on the player. 1,000 bet on the player. And a tie. And another tie. And another tie. And we win 1,000. And so right now, oh my goodness gracious, that's what happened there. Okay, so the next bet is going to be $850, and we have a player. That's kill you, yeah. So we have 2 players there, so here comes the looking for a banker. 3 players. Hope I'm not making any mistakes. 4 player bets. 4 player wins in a row. Oh, yeah, a late comeback by the banker wins there. That gives us an $850 bet on the banker. So we're up $301 now. And so what I would do now is I would reset to the $200 bet because I don't want to bet unnecessarily. The next bet would be $700, but we're up $300 now. We started at 152. I'm trying to win $400 for us. That was the goal. Since we're playing at $200. So let's say that we've got the banker winning here, and there's the player win. So we're going to go with the $200 bet. All I really have to bet's 100, but let's go ahead, since we're saying 200, let's bet 200 on the player. Now we would move over to the banker for 400. And there's the win. And that's a plus 481. So I think the point was the same one that Chuck found out today. Even though we struggled tonight, we win $481. And like I always say this because it's the truth. I like seeing that will it pull itself through. And even if you got to the fourth loss, you're going to record where you are in your D'Alembert, and you're going to restart, and then your first bet is going to be the next D'Alembert bet. We're going to keep doing this. I'm going to get better at doing it with the iPad and holding the phone because obviously, I know how to do it, but sometimes I got my mouth going and everything else, and you guys have learned from me from there. That'll oftentimes throw me for a loop. But anyway, this was the $200 bets at $50 units. The downside to this is why you need the money. When you get elevated up to where you've got $1,150 out there, you don't just have $1,150. You got all the losses that led you to it, and so you need the money to be able to do it. Johnny, I have not tried, but I am so deep in this right now, it's hard for me to go experiment elsewhere, but I understand the Grand Marty using smaller units, and I'm not going to disqualify anything. But I want to run this entirely to ground right now with all you guys, everything that everybody's doing. This is showing the great promise, and I mean, I do want to just simply do this at $1,000. I do. You know, let's do it for fun right now, just for laughs. I'm not going to dig all the way deep with it, but we've got one banker win, so let's see if we can get two of something, and let's do it for 1,000 just for fun. Okay, we haven't. We've only been on 22 minutes, so I'm not killing everybody. I've spent a long time on my story anyway. So we got a player win. We're looking for two in a row. There's two players. Now we're looking for a banker win, and that would start us. Hey, Johnny OG, thank you very much. So there's the banker win. So let's just do it straight up. Now this is a $1,000 bet. These would be $250 units. So this was what we would bet here. We would go $1,000, and the second bet would be $2,000. And if we were to stay in it with the wins, we would go down $750. Yeah, Jay Wood, thank you. Yeah, Father Son, you guys, I'm gonna tell you, tune into it, and you'll get a good kick out of it. Particularly even the way the guitars sound, and Hardy and Steven Wilson's voices are really unique. But okay, here we go. $1,000 bet on the banker, just for laughs. Get a tie to start with. Ties are killing Johnny OG. And that's what I want to do in Vegas. Take that $950 and put it in the pot and move. I don't want to be there long. I want to have enough money to where I could weather the storms if we go up to a 2,000, then from there on up to the 3,000 and win and go down 750 and get that money. So we played it again tonight. I'm going to bring it again. Now, tomorrow night, I'm going to the casino. So that's my scheduled trip is tomorrow. So that is Wednesday, I'm pretty sure. I don't really pay much attention to days of the week. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, Gordo, yeah, you guys will enjoy it. So I'll go to the casino tomorrow night, and I'll report that on Thursday night. We come back and work this again. We'll work at $200 for $50 units again. I'll be looking for you guys to make comments to me. I appreciate them always. And thanks to everybody. Everything's going good. We recovered the 400 that we lost, and we certainly plan on winning tomorrow night. So let's see how that goes. I'm going for $400 tomorrow night, Gordo. That's what I'm doing tomorrow night. Kevin, thank you so much. Good to have you guys. Oh, okay. I'll look that up. Larry Elder's story about his dad. I love these stories. You know, I'm a storyteller myself, obviously. Not particularly good, but I am a storyteller. I have great stories. Thank you, Chuck. And love all of you guys. Thank you very much. And guys and ladies, thank you so very much. And I will be back with you guys on Thursday night to review what happens tomorrow night and to work some more. So it doesn't matter what happens. Mike Tyson always said everybody's got a strategy till they get punched in the mouth. When you get punched in the mouth, we see what the strategy is, and so that's what we're doing. I'm not at 40,000 in funding just yet, but we are moving. We're above 30, and we're moving at it. Yes, that's right, Gordon. Thank you very much. 40 is going to be a great milestone for us because we're also getting some referrals in. Trish, good night. Thanks for coming. And I'll see you guys on Thursday night. Mike Steinfeld, appreciate you. Larry Gessler, George Loyola, good to see you, buddy. I love you all. Thank you so much. I will be seeing you guys on Thursday night. God bless you all.